Today we look at growing asparagus, whether from seed or from roots. Let's start by talking about growing from seed. This is one of those asparagus berries. You'll see them on the plant in the fall. It's a little red berry that contains the seeds. If you look here, as we push down and open up the berry, we see the black seeds that come out. You can also buy these at the store from a seed catalog if you'd prefer to get seeds, or you can save them from your own asparagus plants or asparagus plants of a friend or neighbor. When we are ready to plant, just go ahead and put them in a container. Right here we're using a red cup, and make a couple holes, plant a couple seeds in a single container. If you don't want to plant them directly, another way to get better germination rates is to soak your seeds. Here's a cup that had water in it that the seeds were soaking in. And here are 3 seeds that are actually already sprouting. Do you see the little white tips here? Just barely visible there. There's a little sprout coming out of the seed. So we're going to put those in a cup, like we did before with the seeds before sprouting. And you just want to bury them slightly under the surface. Right now I'm just placing them in. There are 3 in there. 1, 2, 3. And the little white surface shows up a lot better with the black contrast. But now I'm just going to cover them up with dirt. And there you have it. Just water them in again like we did before. And then set them on the counter to sprout. After the plant is sprouted, you want to make sure you are ready to plant it. Dig a hole, have nice loose soil all around it. I'm using compost, and then you plant it. Now we look at growing from roots. Here's an example of some asparagus roots. You'll notice they look very dry. When you're planting asparagus, you're going to want to dig a trench that is about 1 foot deep. You can go a little bit deeper if you want to make sure your soil is loose underneath there. And you'll see here that I'm going to just put this in a fast forward of digging out a trench. And for those that you planted from seed, you're actually going to have to let them go for 2 to probably 3 years. Asparagus. 3 years. Before you harvest any asparagus, you'll want them to go for 3 years at a minimum. Now the rule of thumb is just to not harvest anything that is thinner than a pencil. So that would be what to follow. And then if it's thicker than a pencil, you go ahead and harvest it, and the plant will keep growing. And when it thins down, you can then let it grow out to a fern. All right, now that our trench is complete, we go back to those roots. It's okay if you wanted to soak these roots before planting them. That might help it along. I'll often do that. Here I do actually throw them in a bucket of water. But just unwind them. They're probably held together, and then you have separate roots. So pull off each root, and you'll plant it separately, and you'll want to make sure to spread the roots out at least lengthwise within the trench. Alright, so here is a trench that has 4 asparagus roots planted in it. You'll notice that I spaced them roughly 1 foot to 18 inches ideally apart. And so here I'm just filling back in the dirt. I'm going to go ahead and fill in about 3 inches of dirt, and then we're going to let them grow, and we'll put in more dirt after we see the sprouts peeking out. Within your first year, you're going to want to just let it grow up and turn into a fern, similar to how we have here. because it needs to get good root development, and the fern is what allows it to have photosynthesis and develop the roots. So for the first year, despite the fact you'll want to be harvesting, it'd be a good idea to just let it grow out and do its thing and build those roots. When it is time to harvest, I like to just snap it off, but some may prefer cutting it with a knife or using pruners. It's up to you. I hope you will give asparagus a try.